Those are the ones in the camp, apart from those that are staying with relations. Because I went to Senator Zanna's house, he has over 300. Senator Ndume has over 300. So in each individual houses they have that, but the ones in the camps are over 25,000. So the camp we visited was the NYSC camp. The condition, the population is high, really high. I have a breakdown of the number of people there, if I can read it out to you. They have the total number of women there is 358, and then the total number of men they have is 668, while boys from the age of 18 they have about 378, then girls 211, then boys between the age of 5 and 12 they have 144, then infant girls they have 60 between 0 to 5, then they have infant boys 57. So, and then they recorded about 27 deaths and 15 births in the camp. With that total number of people, you can see a lot of cures in the camp. They have a mini clinic, which is like a dispensary to me. Then they have security situation is good. They have security and everything. And they have, they keep records very well in all the camps in Borno State. From what I had, they said NEMA is trying relatively well, then UNICEF, and then the Red Cross are on ground.
Every government has the primary duty and responsibility to protect lives and property of the citizens. The need for such protection is further heightened in conflict zones.
Say, this is a Geneva Convention situation, Common Article 3. And Common Article 3 is actually supposed to address, or was designed to address, the dignity of victims or persons affected by war. War is a very terrible thing, and the first thing it takes out, robs everybody of his dignity and confidence, and the inherent respect for the dignity of your person and of your community. And it reduces you to nothingness, which makes it possible then to eliminate you, because you're supposed to be nothing anyway. Now, because of that, a country in this kind of situation has got to make a huge investment in trying to restore the dignity of its people affected by war. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think we've made that effort. That effort is an integrated thing. You know, one part of that effort is communication. It's important to communicate to people who are in distress, or to communicate with people who are in distress. We're not doing that. The only person who is doing communication in this situation is Shekau, whether that figure is real or imagined. Now, I'm sure you've flown before. Now, when you're in a flight going through turbulence, or serious turbulence, the one thing you want to do is for somebody, particularly the captain, to come and do what? Explain to you what is happening. Why are we going through this? And to reassure you this is something that is within his or her control. Is that not so? When our people are going through war, I would like to think that the people who are most affected would be entitled to get that kind of reassurance from the captain of the Nigerian ship. I don't think we have done that at all, not to say enough. That public communication is part of the process of managing the dignity of your people in war. The second is the way in which you fight, the rules of engagement that you construct for managing the threat. Again, I don't think we've done that. And when I talk about these two, rules of engagement and public communication, when you look at them and the way we've calibrated them, you see that we fail our people repeatedly. And right now, there is a sense when people hear from particularly the defense authorities, they don't know whether or not to trust or believe them, because we've squandered that element that makes it important to carry your people along in winning this kind of conflict.
The war is not over, and it is safe to say that there is an information black hole in the northeast of Nigeria. Very few reports and visuals are available, so the extent of damage may never be ascertained. However, some statistics already provide a glimpse of the people's travails as they struggle to survive terrorism.
So let me reprise the numbers. Since 2009, over 20,000. Since 2011, over 16,000. Since this year, over 7,000. However you look at it, those are fairly serious numbers. In terms of internal displacement, however you scale formal to informal displacement, we've got well over 1.5 million people displaced internally. I'm not even adding refugees. That's those people who are displaced outside, beyond the borders of Nigeria. We've got a lot of refugees now in Cameroon, in places like Mora and Kolofata, in Chad, up to Niamey, in Niger, in Dikwa, and all of those places. We've got lots of Nigerian refugees as well. At least I've seen some of those in Cameroon, and it's dreadful. And so the internal displacement situation is quite dreadful. And the internal displacement in the Northeast alone accounts, by the estimates of the Internal Displacement Monitoring Center in Geneva, for over 50% of the 4.3 million people in internal displacement in Nigeria as we speak. Food security is affected because there's not been farming in a lot of the places, particularly in Borno, for over 2.5 years. Fishing is also closed down around Lake Chad because Boko Haram is mostly in control of that neighborhood. And so however you look at it, and this is even before you add the fact, say, maternal mortality has risen and life expectancy is dropped. When you add all of that, the humanitarian situation is very sobering.
Even as Nigerians look forward to an end to the mindless and random acts of terrorism, all who live to see such a time can be said to be survivors of terror.